From being an unknown player to taking the entire NBA by storm, the Suns player Mikal is at the top of his game. He's the future of the league. You know him as the 25-year-old small forward for the Suns, who has been scoring beyond anyone's expectations. He's the player to watch.
Guard the best player on the other team every night.
And then able to do that. That's his third three in this first.
I can say with the utmost confidence that he's going to have the best year of his career. This season, the Villanova player kept up his streak of playing in and starting all 82 regular season games. This means he has now played in 309 regular season games. Isn't that amazing?
They're used to moments like this.
11 for Booker, they double McCollum, pickpocketed, ripped away Bridges the other way. And then jackhammers it in, timeout New Orleans.
From the start of the season to the end, he scored like crazy and showed everyone that his way of scoring was super effective. He soon found his offensive role and rhythm after the new year. That's when he came into his own and went from being an average player to becoming one of the most competitive athletes out there.
A big hit there to LeBron James has it smothered on the glass by Mikal Bridges.
Here's the deal, right? He didn't give up. That's an easy layup for LeBron.
The 27th of January was a turning point for Bridges. He had his best game of the season when the Suns beat the Brooklyn Nets. He was one of the biggest reasons why the team won, because the guy was unstoppable and led the team to victory. In over 40 minutes, he turned the tide on the Nets. He showed off his ability to score and his wide range of offensive moves, but it was his work on defense that made the difference, since he was able to stop James Harden from scoring. Suns fans all over the world are over the moon. Their favorite player is finally being recognized this season as one of the best defenders in the game.
George drives, blocked by Bridges, picked up by Man. Man up top to Rondo, right side Batum for three, short, rebound.
And not just as a good perimeter defender. He has never been picked for an NBA All-Star team before, but he did make the All-Defensive First Team in 2022. Because of how close his loss to Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics was, he got votes for both the First Team and the Defensive Player of the Year. He had his moments for the Suns against the New Orleans Pelicans too. He led the Suns to a win by scoring the most points in only 47 minutes. He was all over the court, shooting and blocking. He also led the team's efforts to stop CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, two of the Pelicans' best scorers. They were only able to make less than half of their shots. He wasn't at the top of his game in the game against the Mavericks. His offensive output was lower than usual. He never had a game where he scored more than 15 points, and he averaged pretty well despite not being able to shoot pretty well. Overall, the team's performance in games 6 and 7 was disappointing, but his shooting from the field was especially bad. There isn't much more that can be said to remind Suns fans what Mavericks All-Star Luka Doncic did to Bridges and the team on defense.
And it's intercepted by Dorian Finney-Smith. The other way with numbers punching on the wing. Booker comes out on Finney-Smith and Doncic goes right by Bridges.
In a matchup against Luka, he had no chance of winning, as shown by the numbers. But even so, he's a pretty strong player, and he's pretty important to the team. His offensive skills and the fact that he can score both in the post and from the outside, and his ability to keep playing well for the whole season makes him unstoppable.
Monty Williams.
Phoenix, 8-3 run. It's Bridges working on Walker, and that will trickle in, and now 13 in the game.
His defensive skills are what makes him stand out though. Because of his speed and size, he's a great perimeter defender and can also stop almost all of his opponents. But some things hold him back. His game has a flaw that is linked to one of his best qualities. He's often overlooked, even though the Suns need him to create offense as a catch-and-shoot threat and a cutting, slicing threat.
And Booker will go the other way. With a screen and Bridges a three, he gets another. 16 for Mikal Bridges.
I mean, there was no hesitation, Kevin.
He often acts as a decoy to open up the court for their main scorers. There is no doubt that Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are the backbones of the team.
Most people give him credit for his size.
He's got a couple of dribbles that's just very tough.
Books with a left-hand finish.
But Bridges is sometimes overlooked in favor of more flashy players. The team's success has been tied to his ability to take on more offensive playing, which he does best.
Fire from three. Ayton with the rebound and kicks it out to Bridges. His three, good.
He's one of the best defenders in the world. Actually, that just might be the understatement of the year. His match against Doncic taught him a lot. Bridges and the Suns would both be better off if he gained a few pounds of muscle, so he could handle these bigger defensive duties better. But still, he's doing pretty well. When his rookie-scale contract ends, he'll start the first year of the 4-year extension he signed last summer for $90.9 million. Fans will have to wait till 2026 for that though, but they're pretty excited as he'll be getting $24.9 million. That's crazy. Teams are already lining up to sign him, and he plays like a legend. You'd have to see him to believe how awesome he is. He does a great job of using his 7-foot wingspan to stick with opponents and mess up their games. His work at the point of attack has been great, but it's important not to underestimate how hard his job is in the field. He plays the most minutes of any player in the league during each game. The fact that he can deal with change is another important part of his defense. The Suns have worked hard this season to speed up their offense, but this kind of goal-oriented thinking usually makes the transition defense weaker. Phoenix, on the other hand, has the tied third-best transition defense in the NBA, and Bridges is mostly to blame. If you watch any of his matches, you can see that he's very good at stopping a fast break. He can find stray trailers quickly, block passing lanes, and stop almost anyone that would try to break in with surprising strength. You may have also noticed how much ground he had to cover. He's first in the league for how far he goes on defense each game. He can handle this responsibility while keeping his offensive usage rate close to what it was last season, which was his career high. This shows just how badly he wants to leave his mark on the league. He can use a proactive defense because he seems to be in his physical prime. He's always ready to strike. So it's safe to say that he's the best defender in the NBA. He does a great job as a strong side help defender. Plus, his tendency to fill space quickly and to lean forward whenever it's needed has helped him dig on drives with crazy passion. He more than makes up for the fact that he doesn't block or steal as many balls as his teammates by playing great defense without fouling. This means that the other team has to take fewer free throws, which some might say is better than the entire game itself. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Having good players isn't enough to make a good defense. A team's ability to always have a defense that can win a championship depends a lot on how well they're coached, how well they plan, and how well they talk to each other. So, Bridges deserves all the extra attention he'll get this spring when he runs for the first time for the all-defensive team. He's always ready for a fight and knows how to defend himself well. And to be honest, it'd be hard to find 5 perimeter basketball defenders who are better than him. Fans can't wait to see him do what he loves. That's all I have on Nets Mikal Bridges at this time.